We are 3 days from Christmas. Santa Claus just keeps bringing the real estate industry his presents. Yes, I'm going to go over a couple of stories there, mostly about what's happening in home values here in Southern California, as well as what happened with the PCE and the CPI and all the acronyms out there. What's happened in core inflation? I know everyone was on the edge of their seats because this will determine what's happening in the next 12 months on rate reductions by the Fed. All next on Real Estate Daily. Welcome everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage market. Now, before we jump into it, hit that like button. I really would appreciate it. I'm going to give you the best 5 to 10 minutes in real estate on a daily basis. I'm not going to go take one article, 2 articles. I'm going to show you 5, 6 articles on a daily basis, including interest rates. Because you want to know what interest rates are, because that is what's driving this market. Let's jump into it. You know it, Kobesi letter. Let's go into it. So today, as we had reported on Monday, was PCI, which was core inflation. What's really happening? That's what we keep hearing the Fed saying, oh, core inflation is what we're really looking at. It says breaking, November PCE inflation, the Fed's preferred inflation measure falls 2.6%. Falls to 2.6%, well below expectations of 2.8. Then it says core PCE inflation falls 3.2% below the expectations of 3.3. This is the lowest PCE inflation number since May of 2021. We're talking, over 2 years ago, actually 2.5 years ago. Another welcome sign by the Fed. Well, what did the market do? It rejoiced. It rejoiced until 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it took a dump. And that's kind of interesting because now it's being reported that 2 p.m. on, was it Monday or Tuesday, it took a dump, and now today it took a dump, and we're talking billions of dollars outflows of the stock market. Doesn't make any sense, but seems a little manipulated. But I won't get into that because I'm not the expert at it. Let's go back to the Kobesi letter, and we're going to say Fed pivot is an understatement. Markets are now pricing an 86% chance that rates will be cut beginning on March of 2024. The base case now shows 7 interest rate cuts in 24. My God, people, this is just continually a moving target. We talked about last week where there was 3. Then we talked a few days later, 5. We talked 6 this week. Now we're talking 7. Let's go take a look at the charts. CME Fed Watch Tool. Now this is incredible. There it is right there. But what's incredible about this is that this is what's being predicted, meaning that if the downward trend that we continue to see happens, then we're going to see issues and cracks in the economy that's going to cause the Fed to absolutely react to it. Let's go take a look at it. So we know the next meeting is on January 31st. There's a 15% chance they will be moving that down. It's interesting. It was only, 7 days ago that it was a 0% chance. Now it's 15%. But that's not the astonishing part. Still in the first quarter on March 20th, we're looking at 74% that it's going to go down 25 basis points, but there's a 12% that we're going to go down 50 basis points. So together, that's 86%. We're going to see some type of reduction. We see this, guys. We're talking about a launch pad for the real estate market, and we're going to get into interest rates here in a minute. But we'll see a launch pad. There will be no question about it. The buyers will be out there, and the sellers will be getting out of that winter thaw and hopefully starting to think about putting their houses on the market. But let's go back into May 1st, another 72%. So if we have 74 here, so basically they're saying there's one rate cut there, there's one rate cut here, there's one rate cut here, there's one rate cut here, because this is the majority, right? One here, one there. My Lord, look at this. This is insanity. I mean, they're talking 7. So if I look at how did I get to 7, well, this is even. So this is where we're at. So let's go track the blue, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all the blue is the majority percentages of what was going to happen. And those are rate cuts. And so, I mean, I see 6. We want to call 7 is, but really, we're looking at a steady downward trend. Now, if we have a black swan event, and that could be, a multitude of things that are out there, well, we can see this go down quicker, faster. And the quicker and the faster it goes down, and the economy is strong enough and people are still employed, we're going to see an absolute explosion in the real estate market. All right. So with that being said, this is Orange County Register today. Wow. Home prices hit record highs in 4 Southern California counties for November. Orange, San Bernardino, San Diego, and Ventura counties match or beat the previous records. Guys, there is a housing boom going on. It hasn't stopped. When all those naysayers out there, or you listen to social media or just the media in general, they keep telling you they are looking at a trend in 2008, 2009. If you look at the last six to seven recessions, only 2 of those recessions we saw the housing market go down. And the most recent recession from I'll call it the bear flu back in March when they locked us all down, okay? We didn't see a recession in housing. We actually saw an uptick in home values during that time. So while everyone thought they were locked down, the people that were absolutely working and getting out there and going about their business, they bought homes. And when they bought homes in, holy shnikes, did they have enormous amount of equity in those homes. They made the absolute best decisions. I beg people to go out there and buy a home. I told them it's either death or it's a house and you're going to explode. That's exactly what happened. Anyone that absolutely got into the housing market back in the second quarter of 2020. All right. So this is back in the red file. This is all the weird stuff that media wants to roll out here. It says, in a tough real estate market, a century-old housing idea could make a comeback. And they're showing modular homes. That means you roll up, you have a foundation, you pop a already built home on that foundation. Now, some people say, well, that would make housing cheaper. Yes, but the value of those modular homes are significantly less. Some of them you own the land, some you don't. You have to lease the land out. More importantly, you have to understand what the utilities are. Are you looking at having to have a septic tank, or is this going to be connected to city water, city sewer? Or are you going to have a well, or you're going to have propane tanks? And all those things, including propane tanks and septics, they cause your home insurance to go up higher because there's a possibility, there's a problem with them. Unlike anything that's from the city, has significantly more reliability than you do when you jump into a modular home. We're not at this point, guys. We're only at this point is if you want to throw housing up as fast as you possibly can. You build all these modular homes, throw them in a row, sell them fairly cheaply, for people for affordable housing, if we want to call it. This is the only way that's going on. Otherwise, you want the real deal. You want a stick-built house. You want to have the land underneath it. You want to own that, and hopefully you'll have public utilities and not septic and propane. All right, I know everyone's waiting for the interest rates. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. I really would appreciate it. It would help us out. Man, what a day for interest rates here. Look at this. Down almost 6 basis points to 6.62 on conforming conventional. But look at FHA, took a 9% haircut. We saw it briefly bounce up yesterday, and now it's at 6.5. Guys, if you look at competitive rates out there, you're going to get in the lower 6s right now, and that's what's spurring on buyers. We have listings, me and my business partner Ryan Lenocker, we have listings, and what's happening is those listings are getting lots of showings, and I'm saying this is insanity. We've never had this many showings prior to Christmas, within days and hours of Christmas, and then even after Christmas, because people know that if rates continue to fall, buyers are going to come in droves and they're going to push the price up. Might as well take advantage of it right now when you have less buyers out there, and sellers might be a little more desperate to sell at the moment. Very interesting dilemma that's going on. If you were to ask me, if I were a buyer and you're in this market, boom, I would be all over, a property, because if these rates were to drop into the 5s, we're going to see a housing boom once again. All right, and you're asking, well, what's the future? Well, let's go to the 10-year bond, 3.90. Yesterday it was 3.89. So we're kind of hanging steady here, at 3.9. And we just want to keep it under 4, but we really want it 3.7, 3.6, because that's the next leg down. You can't go straight down all the time, or you can't go straight up. I know you Bitcoin maxis out there. Oh, we're going to Valhalla, or we're going to the moon, or we're going somewhere. Guess what? you're going to go to heaven, and then you're going to hell if you don't sell some of your bag. Just like with this, you have to take advantage of the situation. Now, if you were to say, hey, Troy, if I buy now, what's the advantage if I bought in March of next year, 2024, first quarter? I'm saying you're just going to have less competition, and some of these properties have been on the market for a little bit longer, so you might have a better chance of getting a discount. If you're looking at, February and March, and these rates have dropped into the high fives, you and anyone else that can afford or get qualified, which the affordability will be much, much greater than it was at 8% interest rates versus in the fives. Well, then, holy hell, we're going to see a little bit of housing boom here. We need inventory. Sellers, if you're going to move, let's move, man. Flippers, let's keep flipping, right? Because that's what's really on the market is almost all flips because there's no movers. Who wants to get out of a 2% interest rate? All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It's a Friday before Christmas. Christmas is Monday. Everyone have a Merry Christmas. I will not be recording on Monday. I will be snowboarding on Monday, a little bit of a tradition that we do. And so I can't wait for that day. Have a relaxing holiday. Hope there's no last-minute shopping because Amazon ain't going to be there knocking on your door anytime soon on a Sunday. You guys take care. Merry Christmas.